delivering boxes for our CSA, which is an acronym that stands for Community Supported Agriculture. And what Community Supported Agriculture is, it's a cooperative effort towards local ag between farmers and community members. And the community members signed up with me early in the spring. They actually bought a share and prepaid me. And in this case, they paid me $500. And then what I pledged to do for them is to pack them a box of seasonal produce for 20 weeks out of the season. So this is week 18 out of 20. It's October 3rd. And for that $500, I pack them between $25 and $35 worth of produce every week. So they actually get about 10% above what they paid me for. I give them a big old bountiful box. So today they're getting crazy greens and strawberries and late season potatoes, a couple kind of winter squash, nice big bunch of beets with greens, a bunch of French breakfast radishes, and a head of Asian cabbage. We use the same box every week. We recycle that, so people just shop out of that box, and I bring that back to the farm and pack it up for them each time. And yeah, so it's pretty cool because they give me my startup costs. Like I raised $5,000 because I have 10 quote-unquote members. I pack 10 boxes. It works out to be 14 members total. Some people do it as individuals, some people do it as a couple, and some people approach it as a family. And then some people receive a full box and others split the boxes. So I actually have 14 members that share 10 boxes total. So we can look at a box if you want real quick.
Yeah.
So what they're getting today, they're getting a pint of strawberries, which are actually still happening in October. Half-pound bag of a braising mix, which is a good stir-fry, cooking and steaming green. Gorgeous head of Joy Choy cabbage, one of my Asian delights. Bunch of mixed beets with greens. Some French breakfast radishes. And then I did what I call a salsa bag. It's got tomatillos, hot peppers, and the last of the tomatoes in it. That's a pound bag of mixed solanums. And then they're getting a couple kinds of squash today, a sweet dumpling, and this is called a Queensland Blue. A couple of miniature kohlrabis, and the tops are edible on those two. They're kind of like a collard green. And then 2.5 pounds of some storage potatoes. I'm doing a baby russet and a fingerling for storage potatoes. So I wash those up. And then this particular member also gets an egg share. So she gets a dozen eggs every week too from my birds. From the Aracanas and the Rhode Island Reds. All organically fed and free range.
Does an egg share cost more?
Yeah, she pays me $4 a dozen for these. And this member, she's the bank manager. She gets a dozen a week. She splits this box with a gal that lives next door to her. Recycled materials for the infrastructure, from people coming and giving me design time and plans. You know, the Bullocks have done a permaculture design with me for this. My friend Kai Enderline offered me the same thing. Eric Lum, who's a professional high-paid fence builder, told me where I could get my materials at wholesale and taught me my fence design. John Stewart from Maple Rock came over with his tractor and for a song has done all my tilling work for me. You know, members from my CSA have also come through as volunteers with helping with field work and forming raised beds. My one girlfriend, Faith, you know, has worked for me for a pittance very consistently all summer as basically my assistant manager to help me, you know, do harvests and get things to market. It's just been amazing how much community support. I mean, the local philanthropist that lent me $7,500 because the banks laughed at me when I tried to get a loan through them. I tried a personal loan and a business loan and they just said there's no way. So I was really shy of my initial funding and said, am I even going to be able to do this? And you know, this local philanthropist stepped up and said, look, you know, I'll loan you the money. Well, how much do you need and what kind of terms can you work with? So that made it really possible too. And then having people from the CSA sign up before I even had seeds in the ground. I mean, people literally were giving me $500 checks before they even saw like the fence being finished or crops coming out. So that, all that belief and all that support is what's really made this happen. It's, you know, people want to think this is a one-person endeavor, and on some levels it's, you know, headed by one farmer, but this has been very much a community event. So I've been calling this, you know, local agriculture that's been supported from the ground up by the community, which is huge.